Hello, and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video will be allegedly and in my very own opinion and used for entertainment purposes only. Now let's get into it. First, I want to start off by saying that Millichan did a great interview with Ken. She asked all the right questions. She didn't hold back. She asked her own questions. She asked questions from her audience. So it was an overall great interview. We learned a lot of things from Dark Skin Ken, but at the same time, it's a little too late, Ken. You should have done that from the beginning before we formed our own opinion about you. Now let's get into it.
Doing great. How about you?
Told him that you were here. We had like a little small discussion before.
And let's just say some hellos before we get started. Hey, Aries Girl Podcast. Thank you so much for being here, sis. Hey, the beautiful Linda Gamble. Thank you so much for being here, sis.
And I was telling him that outside of everything, the show and all that, I think for the most people feel like you're a really nice guy, right?
I try.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. Like, Ken, we don't like you. You come off as being very angry, very arrogant, and a control freak. That's pretty much our opinion about you.
So there are a lot of questions. We never had this many questions for a guest before, ever. So we're gonna try to get it going and get into it. So listen, Chad, I'm gonna come back. Cut and paste Tisha always gets me. Look, well, look, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to the chat. I'm gonna start with Ken, and we're gonna get into some questions, and then I'm gonna come back to the chat in a few minutes. Okay? That's how we're gonna do this. So Ken,
And guys, what do you think made Ken want to do this interview? Do you think he wants to clean up the mess? Do you think he wants to become more likable at this point? You know, is this just like cleanup work? What do you guys think?
let's know a little bit about yourself. Like where we know you grew up, we know you were in Ohio, we know you moved to Huntsville, we know you were here there. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your parents.
And guys, if you could put it in the chat, if you can hear the video pretty okay.
And all of that.
Well, I just made 38 on the first.
Okay.
My mother, my oldest is 4. Um, my mother and my sister, they both live in Atlanta. I've started for 8 years.
Okay.
For the government for a little bit. I did in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I drive trucks. Well, I think it is my main income, but I do a lot of different things. I sell cars, buy trade cars, model act. I do a lot to stay to keep myself busy and make. I got about a bunch of people that I got to feed. So
okay. So modeling and acting. So do you model for like magazines and
what? A lot of. I've done a lot of freelance stuff. I've done some work with some of the cast from Loving Hip Hop Atlanta. I've been on all the Queensmen, Tyler Perry show. I've done a few nice little things in the industry.
And let me just say this. I don't doubt that Ken has done these things, but we don't see any, evidence that he's done all of these things on his social media platform. Instead, we see him going back and forth with Marquez. So it makes it hard for us to believe that you have all of these things going on because you do not highlight these things on your social media. But go off.
No. Yeah. Did you say acting? Let's get on into it. Trish had made a comment under somebody's comment, and she said that you all were acting. You all had a plan for the show, but Marquez had gone rogue, and he kind of went off. And I can see I'm not saying y'all did it. I'm just saying we saw Trish say this to someone. Can you address that?
So Kenna's getting ready to play cleanup because first of all, Trish, just being a rookie, doesn't really know how this, sorry for that, guys. Doesn't know how this reality TV thing works since it is her first time. So she was never supposed to put that out there. So, now he has to backtrack and clean it up. And Aries Girl says, I think the problem is saying on TV that he was living in the marital home with Trisha. Most states view adultery in an even worse light if it occurs in the marital home. So they backpedaling that part. And hey, kicking in with Courtney. Thank you so much for being here, sis. And she says, hey, I can't hear. Let me go out and come back in. Okay, when you come back, Courtney, let me know if you can hear. Hey, Soundcheck Annette, thank you so much for being here. And guys, put a one in the chat if you can hear so that we'll be able to know if it's just Courtney or if you guys can't hear as well. And Aries Girl also said they gave Marquez the upper hand with the divorce and didn't realize it, in my opinion. Okay, that's some great feedback. Like the video, like Courtney says, it's free 99. She says she's back and she can hear. Okay, great. Okay, let's go.
Well, I think in the beginning, like we were, we thought this was going to be about black business, black entrepreneurship, stuff like that. But when we quickly saw that it was going towards more of the drama side of ourselves, I personally was like, hey, I know me and Marquez really ain't on the right page, but this is something that we can take advantage of and, try to make our family be, make everything, work. It didn't work out that way, of course, as y'all see. I think when two people haven't really hashed out all their differences, one hasn't gotten over, you know, certain situations, it just made it hard. And with me being in the picture and me doing all these wonderful things for the family and the family being happy and everybody just kind of like moving on with their lives, it definitely created like a more of a divide.
So maybe if you and Trish had sat down and had a conversation with Marquez instead of lying to him, maybe things would have started off on a better foot. But you chose to lie to him about the whole reason why you were sending him, that sign in for your daughter and your son to be able to appear on the show. So if you hadn't lied from the beginning, maybe things would have ran more smoothly about your storyline.
Okay. So so the word is that you wanted to do this. You wanted to do Love and Man Huntsville, and Trish came along with you. Like she was like, okay, I'll do it for you. And I'm just telling you what I've heard, what I've seen. So I'll let you clear that up. But also, if that is true, no, and I don't know if you've ever watched the show because it's a beast, right?
Right.
You can get demolished here. So if you had watched the show or not, and you know that Trish was married and you were dating her, you all are living together, and her husband is somewhere
Now
else.
listen to Ken tell lies and try to backtrack.
Like, why would you put her in this type of situation? Because she's had it pretty tough since y'all have been together.
So I guess I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I understand what you're asking. I don't. So when we first got interviewed for the show, it was kind of like we were supposed to just come on as extras thing. So we weren't even supposed to come on and have the impact that we had. So for us, it was just like, hey, we trying to push our fitness, we trying to push our businesses. Let's go. Like I said earlier, Trish is one of them people that she don't really like attention like that. She's not really big time social media. She doesn't really post a lot. I have to tell her to post and stuff like that. And
but y'all never watched the show?
Yeah, we watched the show. But we, like I said, like our whole
So Ken just said that he watched the show. So he's gonna backtrack and say that he really didn't watch the show and that Trisha watched the show. So Trisha should have known exactly what she was getting into.
Well, Trish watched the show. I only seen like bits and pieces and stuff like that. But I think with the whole her and Marquez had been separated for so long, and Another thing too, with the whole relationship thing, me and like everybody seemed
Stay on track,
like
Ken. Answer the first question.
Happy home, and Marquez was absolutely nowhere in the picture.
Okay.
If you talk, Trisha tell you this herself. When I first came around, and she was living,
and so I'm pretty sure that we heard from Ken that at first Trisha didn't really want to do the show, so he had to talk her into doing the show. So I truly believe that Trish only did it because, you know, Ken convinced her to do this show, and she really wasn't comfortable at first doing the show. And I think Stormy approached them because she wanted to get back at Mel. So that's why he's saying that he thought that they were coming in as a friend of the show. I think the only purpose of Stormy inviting them on the show was to get back at Mel. So they didn't think that they were going to be actual cast members on the show until Carlos seen that they had a very dirty, situation going on, and Carlos likes the mess, so he decided to make them cast on the show.
Still currently living in the home that they both had gotten together. I never spent the night at the house. I never stayed at the house. I would come over and visit. I never was around the kids. The only time I would come visit her when the kids were at school. When the kids were at home, I never came around. So that whole idea that I just came in and I was around the kids, and that's false. That's not true.
Okay.
Her and Marquez.
I don't believe that's true, only because Marquez did say that he seen on the camera that Ken was coming into the house. And obviously that means that he played a part in them acquiring the house, so he had access to the video cameras.
Ended up selling that home and moving into she ended up moving into another home. I was coming off of a relationship breakup, and I was actually in the process of getting my own home, like getting another place. So this idea that I needed somewhere to stay, like I literally.
So that goes along with what Marquez said, because Marquez said that Ken got caught creeping with Trish. So his girlfriend put him out. So that's why he says he was in the process of getting his own home. You didn't have it at the point. You had just got kicked out of the house by your girlfriend. So you moved in with Trish because she was the reason you got kicked out of your home. So she couldn't turn you away.
Provided every home I've ever stayed in. So, yeah, I don't like me and Trisha agreed both to do the show for the simple fact that we felt it would be good to push our brand with the fitness and stuff like that.
So since you've been on the show, we haven't seen any of your business, brands, ideas, collaborations. We haven't seen any of that. So now that you are on the show and none of that is happening for you, don't you think maybe you need to get off the show? Because so far what we've seen, it's not a good look. And if you're so into your business and promoting your business, I would think that you would get off the show, because this is not a good look for your business. Hey, Brandon Lee, thank you so much for being here, bro. And he says, hey, good people, I will be reviewing the Ken interview with Millie very soon. I got the Kiki Palmer interview review tonight, but I'm definitely interested. Awesome, bro. And I will definitely be checking that out.
Are you all doing that? Because we don't see that. We see that you all work out, but what is your brand? What
exactly?
A lot of stuff. I don't think, like, when it comes to like the show and like stuff like that, like they don't show a lot of what we do on like you said, you didn't know our model, you don't know our act. They know all of this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because the show is derived to push
mess.
The worst part of you out. So back to my first question: if you had watched the show, or if Trish had watched the show, if this was something that you wanted to do to push your agenda, to push what you're doing.
Hey, American Born, thank you so much for being here, sis.
It can devour people. Why would you put?
No, we didn't know that. We didn't like I said.
You said Trish watched the show.
I haven't watched this show. And I knew Marceau. And
make up your mind, Ken. Did you or did you not watch the show? So, we know that, OWN or Carlos King is not going to show your business on the show. So we would expect you to at least promote your businesses on your social media instead of, posting a mess. So if they're not going to post it, why aren't you promoting your own business on social media so that at least we would think that you had something going on outside of this show that you're trying to push. And that's the reason why you said you came on the show. Make it make sense, Ken.
The other guys and stuff like that. And I created certain successes because of the show. So that model.
Wait a minute. Now, who are we speaking of? Because I haven't seen anybody create success from this show except for Melody. Okay. Melody is the only one that promotes her businesses, and she's the only one that has increased her success since being on the show. Stormy, when she got on the show, her business was in the dumps. This show did not help her business. It just exposed, that she has no business acumen whatsoever. So this show didn't help her business either. So who are you referring to when you say that, some of the cast members on the show were able to have more success by being on the show? We need clarity on that.
The whole idea behind it was we really didn't know. We were blinded by all this drama stuff. Like, we didn't know anything about, like, it was kind of like we just thought we were coming in as a fit couple. They were going to show our family dynamic, our blended family, and how everything was going, and that was going to be the basis of our spot on the show. And then once we got on there, then it kind of went.
Okay, blended.
Now, doesn't Ken sound like somebody else we know? He sounds just like Marquise. I'm not Marquise. Marceau, saying that, he has this going on. He's building his dream home, but we have yet to see any process. And then he made a live the other day saying that he's been building his house on this land. He's had this land since 2018, and this is the only progress that you have to show. So this show is not helping you guys' business whatsoever.
Family. So we heard you say, and okay, I'm gonna get down to the core because, okay, what I want to know is, and this is me, this is a Millie Chan question. I want to know who, like, when you were contacted. When was Marquez contacted? Because he said he was contacted about the baby having dancing and stuff like that. Were you all contacted, and then how was he contacted? Like, if it was just bringing y'all, because let's say this, we heard that Trish had a husband before we even knew who you were. Before we knew you or Marquez. We had heard that on the street. And because when I heard, I was like, wait a minute.
It was never a secret because, like, nobody ever hit it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, and me and her had lots of conversations in the beginning because, like, of course, with her being still technically married, I didn't want to put myself in a position to where, I know who I am as a man and what type of man I'm gonna be to my woman. So it was like I had to ask all these questions to ensure that I didn't put myself in a situation to where I do it all and lose it all. So, but I personally can't answer when Marquez found out. Like, when I say in the beginning, Marquez, like, and I don't say this, like, I think people think a lot of this stuff that we say on the show is scripted and we're trying to just make him out to be this bad guy or whatever the case may be. Like, Marquez didn't come around a lot in the beginning. Like it would be time and time and time. Like, I used to see his dad all the time. If he needed anything to be done and me and her had other obligations, it was his dad that showed up.
Okay. So he said that. He said that last week.
So it was like, with him not being in the picture, like, I had nothing else to go by. She told me that when we first started talking, like, hey, he's not around, he doesn't come around, and he stayed right up the street most of the time. Like, so.
And I totally get that him not being around Marquez because Marquez was missing in action, that he only had one side of the story. And that's exactly why you should have arranged a meeting to sit down with Trish and Marquez to get the other side of the story instead of just going by what Trish was telling you. And Soundcheck Annette says you wanted to show Marquez as an absent father and he crashed your plans. Exactly. Once he realized that they had been filming for quite some time and he was in the dark about what was really going on, that's why he came out mad. But if they would have had a conversation, with him from the beginning, he might have been okay with the whole situation. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here.
After, of course, just weighing my options, and me and Trisha just started to be around each other more, hanging out more. We just grew fond of each other, and that's how it happened. But throughout the whole process, Marquez really, I promise you, I could have counted on one hand how many times I saw him up until we started filming the show.
Okay, we're going to get into some of the questions in here, and then we're going to get into some of Marquez's posts. Okay, this is one big question. This is a big question, right? Big one. I want to know why he felt the need to attack fans, specific fans, millimeters, and disrespect them, considering they all made CC content creators the decision to put their lives out to the public. Like when you did your live, you called out millimeters, you called out women who wear unit, put it on.
Here's my thing with that. Here's my thing with that. If you actually go back to my live and look.
And guys, that's where he messed up, because instead of doing what he's doing now, you know, doing a sit down interview to set the record straight, he chose to go ape shit on social media. And that's when you started looking like a weirdo.
What I was saying, I was responding to somebody in the live. Somebody said, "Hey, all these people in here hating on you are millimeters," and I specifically said it's possible. I never said that it was directly. I said it's possible. I said nothing against male, but I've seen millimeters in posts in the past, and they can be kind of crazy. That's not an attack. That's actually just my opinion on 10 millimeters in the past. Like, I never directly said, "Hey, millimeters, you suck." Like, I never did that. Like, so I don't know why that came up. And the whole attack on the wig is they kept talking about Trisha.
What I can't understand, reality TV has been around for quite some time. I have never seen where a reality star is going back and forth with fans in the comments. Like, who does that? Like, you should have done your research. And this is what it, means to be on reality TV. You're showing your reality, and the fans are going to react. We do have an opinion.
So I talked about doing it. Okay. What's the difference in them doing it and me doing it?
All right, well, we cleared that up. Hope, is that good? Cass D, hope that's good. Let me see. Was there something else before I go on? Y'all go ahead and hit the like button as you come in. Let's come back to the questions. Let's go to this right here. So this is Marquez's post. I don't know if I should be using this, but I am. This is not a storyline. This is my real life. It happens to be playing out on national TV. We're friends. We were friends before this. Now we can no longer be friends. Is he talking about you or Trish?
He's talking about Trish.
Trish.
I am no longer going along with the storyline you wanted. Now I am standing on business, and I'll see you in court. Are they divorced?
So he claimed he contested the divorce in a post. I'm not 100% sure if he actually did, but the papers have been filed a good bit ago, and they're just going through whatever emotions they're going through.
So were those divorce papers he brought to that restaurant? Because we don't think that's what was in that envelope.
That was months ago. Hell no. That was a fake.
I don't know if I can speak on that because of the show.
That's why you can't speak on it.
Real paperwork is filed.
You already answered my question. Thank you so very much for that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. I got it. So why so long? Because when you and Trish was having her birthday dinner, I guess, I don't know, and you were talking about being married, like, do you think she needs some time? If she was divorced today, because I don't think she's divorced today. And I feel like he's holding it up. And it seems like he still wants it. And Trish, with her...
Trish was forced to file for this divorce because she was getting dragged so bad. That's the only reason why she filed for divorce. If it was up to Trish, she would never have filed for divorce. Because for some reason, she's holding on to Marquez.
Right. It seems like she may have had something, but she knows it's some BS over there, so she's moving on, right? That's how I got it. I know she's in this relationship with you, but with her surprise of it, were you surprised when she said that on television? Like
the video, guys, it's free $99.
Yeah, because so here's the thing about Trish and me and Trish have had a lot of conversations because I asked that same question. Hey, what took you so long to get the divorce? I don't think a lot of people understand how people's lives operate differently. And here's my thing. I'm gonna say this and then I'll move on. You got people in the comments right now that are still married and have moved on and with somebody else and they haven't gotten a divorce. Nobody just knows that they're going through that. So we're putting our info out there for people to know. So I always like type like it's like knowing rocks at a glass house. There's a lot of people in the comments.
I think her video paused. And he's absolutely right. We're not judging you for that per se, um, Ken, but we are judging you because you come out with all of this aggression instead of keeping that behind the scenes as your own personal, life. Just like you said, there are people in the comments right now that have your same situation. They're just not talking about it. So maybe you should not have talked about it. Maybe you should came on the show, like you said, to promote your business. And when you seen that that wasn't happening, you should have exited the show.
Like ways. A lot of the reason why this took so long, it was a lot of family, like engagement behind it. Like she grew up in a real deal, like committed family where they didn't get divorced. They worked on their marriages. They stayed. Her mom and dad were married for almost 40 years. Okay. So Trish did try her best to fix her marriage and work on her marriage and just try to be the best wife she could possibly be. But just like anybody else, over time, you run out of, you get exhausted. You run out of options. And nobody really knew what they were going through because they're such a private family and private. He just moved on with her life. He moved on with his life. And it took for us to come together for her to actually have to go through with the process.
Okay. So do you think if you had to come in the picture, she still would have been just over there?
She would have still been married.
And they still been married.
I believe so, because I don't think like
she only filed for that divorce because she got tired of being dragged.
Dark space. You lose a mom,
yes,
within 6 or 7 months, and then you lose your sister, who was probably one of the closest siblings you had, and on top of that, you lose a husband because he just disappears out of and not there for you. It was a lot of hatred harbored.
And honestly, guys, I can understand why Trisha has so much hatred or whatever disdain for Marquez, because to leave her at her most vulnerable point when she was going through all of that grief, that was very, very low of Marquez to do that. So I'm not making any type of excuses for Marquez to say that he's this good person. The only thing that's in question right now is if he's a good father. We're not trying to judge his character at this point because we've all come to our own conclusions about his character. Now the focus is he a good father?
It was a lot of, and it was like, I think a lot of it, she just wanted to stay away from him for the simple fact that she didn't want to have to see his face and deal with the things that she went through with him. So I get it. Like, I get
it. Too, because have been married. I've been divorced and I've been married and I've been divorced, right? So I know that when it's time to go, it's time to go. It was no misunderstanding. Come sign these papers so we can get these. I got stuff to do, right? That was me, but that was me. But at the same time, when I'm married, like my problem with Marquez is, and I thought it was great that you said he should seek help and he can talk to you. But for me, I feel like Marquez, the fact, like, we don't believe everything Trish says, but in that moment when she was saying, you weren't there. When she said that he was not there for her when she needed him, when he said what he said to Marceau about not being there because he hasn't lost anybody, I lost all respect for him. Because, sir, you are married. And then to say he didn't want to come home to the house because you were there, I thought that was crazy too. But when I'm gonna fast forward, I'm gonna go back. This question right here from Samantha, why is
honestly, if Marquez had not stopped coming over, if he had not stopped seeing the kids, this situation would have played out a lot different. Ken was only able to move in, try to take charge of his kids because Marquez wasn't there. If Marquez would have been around, he could have established the rules from the beginning. If he would have been a present father, Ken would not have been able to get as close with his kids as he was able to.
She's talking about Mel, and meaning the scene where you all ladies had come back, they were downloading the guys, and she said something about Mel has cheated before or whatever, right? How, do y'all know her like that? Like, y'all, because it doesn't seem like y'all are close.
So I personally don't know any of them like that outside of Courtney and Stormy. I play ball with.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
But I know Trish knows a lot more about them than I do. My only problem is what it is I don't get into girl talk. I don't get in their conversations. Like it's not. This just doesn't interest me. I just know that Mel had a lot to say about our situation, so Trish spoke back. Like Trish was a responder.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Yes. I feel like the reason why Trish is coming after Mel is because that's what she signed up for, to be on the show. Everybody that comes on this show, they sign some type of, paperwork that they have to come after Mel. She didn't say anything when Stormy came after her at the girls' trip. Like, Stormy called her out for lying, but she don't seem to have any disdain for Stormy. So what's up with that? You guys picked the wrong team. Stormy is no longer there. She's not on the show anymore. So there's no reason for you guys to keep, caping for Stormy. Like, just keep it real.
I call it a counterpuncher. Like she's not going to say anything if you don't say something to her first. So I don't understand why people acting like she's just coming for Mel. Like we don't really. I don't mean to say this in a way that may sound. Think about them. Like nobody is just coming to come for one of those people or one of them just for I don't know. Like there was a situation that occurred where even like y'all see later on to where she was like egging on a situation with Marquez. Like Melanie has, said certain things and done certain things that come off as being, messy or trying to implant herself in certain things. And you can't expect nobody to do nothing but say something back in defense of.
Prove it. We haven't seen any of that. We've only seen Mel have maybe 2 conversations with Trish. So when did Mel have all this time to be saying things about Trish? Like she's never been in Trish's present. I'll say maybe 2, maybe 3 times, and we've seen it play out on TV. So we don't agree.
Themselves, like.
Okay, thank you, Samantha. Let's get into another one of these posts right quick. I think it's another one. Marquez said, when trying to take accountability and articulate truth, let's be clear, this was the first time all 3 of us ever sat down and spoke about our issues in front of 12 people and 6 cameras. You cannot take a real 2-hour conversation and condense it to 5 minutes and expect it to be understood or whatever. I can't see the rest of that. So what do you say? Thank you so much. What do you say about that?
So, I mean, we're in a better space now, but I've tried to on a number of occasions get me and him out the camera. You know what I'm saying? To a conversation. I don't know. I feel like sometimes people just be so stuck in their emotions that they tend to not really comprehend the situation. And like I said, I'm a good guy, and I never wanted us to ever be in this type of situation. Okay. My intentions whatsoever.
It's a difficult situation because
it's difficult for me because my last.
I'm not sure why Ken have to keep saying that he's a good guy. Like, you don't have to say that. We can form our own opinion about you. Usually when people always trying to push their narrative, it's usually a lie and not true.
Relationship. The child that I acquired in that relationship, she was 2. She's currently 13.
Okay, let's talk about that. Is that relationship the one that was married? Because we heard you say
that like again, I don't want to try to like discredit the show in any way, but y'all have to understand that editing is a real thing. I never said I dated another married woman. I worded it wrong, but what I was saying
Of
is
course you
I
did.
dated a woman who at one point was in the same situation as Trish. They were still married. He lived upstairs. She stayed downstairs. And they went through the motions for a long period of time before they actually got the divorce.
So if you know that, editing can change up your words, why would you even bring that up? It was not relevant for you to bring that up. And it seems like you're trying to say that your ex was in this situation before you came into the picture and you weren't involved in that situation. So why did you even bring it up? Like you're setting yourself up for a bad edit.
That's what I'm saying. I never. If the full conversation would have played out, I didn't say I dated her. It just it was.
Hey, Ross Thompson, thank you so much for being here.
But she was married.
I've never been with another married woman outside.
Y'all see how he's stumbling on those words? Liar. And Ross says he's just like Martell when he constantly says he's a good father. Exactly, Ross. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here, sis. And they're saying exactly, Roz.
Skeptical about it. Trish would tell you herself. Like I used to ask a lot of questions, because I say it every time. It's two sides to every story. Sometimes three. You know what I'm saying? Because some people tend to tell a story that fits their narrative. So
look, been divorced. I've told them before. I've been divorced, and after about 6 months, I started dating. So by everybody saying that you're a side dude, I had a side dude, right? And my ex-husband, while we were going through it, he had a side chick. I wasn't trying to date, but I got tired of staying at home by myself. I was ready to buy.
Yeah.
But
so the problem with that is, if you want to protect, your personal business, you don't put it out on social media, because when you do, you invite people to have their own opinion about the situation.
My whole thing is, I knew what was going on in my life. I knew this thing was going to end. We were just waiting. Not like Trish. Not signing a menu, not filing papers, not any of that. Like, I knew mine was coming to an end. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I get you dating. I mean, people do that all the time. So, but people feel a certain kind of way.
Right.
And they think a certain kind of way. I think people who've gone through divorce, I think they think differently. I think people who have not gone through that, they think differently. And I respect everybody's thought process.
Right.
But when you say that you have been in another situation with a woman like Trish, that means you've been in a relationship with a woman who was married before divorce. So if that's what it is, just say that you dated somebody while she was going through a divorce.
That's a pattern.
That's what I'm saying. I just told you that's not what I meant. They cut it to make it sound like that. And if you listen to the whole conversation, I merely was saying that at one point I dated a woman who had been married, and her husband lived upstairs and she lived downstairs, but they were separated. They weren't dealing with each other.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Like, I don't know any of you guys. I don't. And it's like, I'm the type of person that's not to sound like big headed or nothing, but like, there's nothing that you can say to me that's gonna make me determine how I feel. Like, I don't have to lie to you about something that truly isn't really, like, if I did.
So the thing is, Ken, we don't know you either. You're absolutely right. So it's nothing personal. We're just giving feedback. We're just giving you our opinion according to our life experiences, our morals, our values, or whatever the case may be. So it's nothing personal.
A married woman, like you said, it is what it is. It's in my past. But I'm telling you, I never dated another married woman outside of Trish. It was just the way that show, the way that scene was cut up. Like, I mean, and everybody who watched TV knows that there's a thing called editing. Like, it's not. And I'm the one who did it, and I'm telling you, like, that's not what.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what? I mean, I don't get it. Like, why should we even bother watching reality TV when we're not going to see your reality? If we're just going to see all of these, bad edits or whatever the case may be, and then you guys got to come back and you got to do interviews and you got to say you had a bad edit. Like, at this point, what to believe? Because You guys are going against what we're watching on TV. This is a whole mess.
Okay, so what I hear is you dated a lady who has been in a situation like Trish. So you came along after, and this
It was after she had got, when me and her dated, she was divorced.
Okay. So when you got with her, she was divorced, but she told you how the situation was. Okay. Right, y'all. He said it wasn't.
That's why you should have never brought it up, because it didn't apply to this situation. Exactly.
Okay. So is Mr. making happen in Huntsville, because he's had it in his stories and he's moved back?
So I think in the current, I think he's making a transition to go back and forth. I think he still has a space in Atlanta, and he's trying to get a space here.
He lived with his grandma in Atlanta. That's what he did. He lived with his grandma.
He don't live with his grandma. I don't know. Him and his brother live together. They have a really, really nice condo in Atlanta. He doesn't live with his grandmother lives here in Huntsville.
What does he do? What kind of job does he have?
Marquez worked for the government for a long time too.
Today at 11/24.
I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly what he's doing right now.
And maybe that's why you're so intimidated by Marquez, because up until now, like, you made Marquez seem like a bum, like he didn't have any money, like he was depending on Trish, like every time he needed something, you know what I'm saying, she was there to bail him out. So now you're saying that, Marquez makes money, he has a good job. Like, which one is it, Ken?
I know his father left. They did a lot of kind of like missionary work. They traveled a lot and did a lot of. He's into music. He's a music producer for a group. Marquez is actually a talented person. He does a lot of stuff. So it's just that like, I mean,
get it right, get them lies straight, Ken.
It's just he has moments. He goes through moments where he goes through first where
you mean life? You mean when life be lifing?
Really kind of, gets lost and then have to come back to. But I mean, I never tried to act like Marquez was just an outright bum.
Yes, you did. You sure did.
Going through the motions of the show and stuff like that.
You made it seem like Marquez was broke. Marquez wasn't a good dad. You made Marquez seem like this very awful person. Now you're trying to backtrack.
Yeah, but I even stated that in my life, like he's not a bum. He keeps really good jobs. It's just sometimes
this is news to us.
Sometimes, he has to do other things. But I don't care about what he does for work. My whole thing was just being here for these kids.
Okay. One of the questions, I was trying to put it up here, but I hit the wrong thing. So there was a situation where he said you had pulled something out on him. Did you do that?
So me and him cleared that situation up. We had a conversation, and I'm gonna just say it like this: if me and you are having a heated discussion, a heated debate, a heated argument, whatever you want to call it, and
now Ken likes to speak in circles. Like, this whole conversation has been so confusing that, Millichan has had to backtrack because he's not making things clear. And he's going to do the same thing when he explains when Marquez said that he pulled out the GUN.
Get frustrated enough to walk towards your car and be like, hey, I got something for you. What does that mean to you?
He wants her to guess.
Yeah, it means like something there.
And there we go.
You said that?
No, he said that to me.
Because he said you did.
So it makes it seem as if, like, in the beginning, he tried to make it seem like I just came out guns a blazing, but that's not the case. We were having a discussion, and initially the only reason.
Ken, did you or did you not pull out a GUN on Marquez? Like, all this going around and around in circles, like we're not getting to the answer. It's a yes or no question.
Why I said something to him, because when I pulled up, I just heard be this, get this, be this, and like a lot of cuss words, a lot of, things that I didn't really think were appropriate to be saying to the mother of, your kids and your wife, and, I had to intervene because it just looked to me as if.
So what did you hear Trish say? because I'm pretty sure it was a back and forth situation. I'm pretty sure that Marquez wasn't, throwing out all these B words while Trish just sat there and said nothing. It was obviously a fight between a married couple, and you inserted yourself. I understand being a good guy, stepping in, but pulling out a weapon like that would only exacerbate the situation. And that sounds like that's what you did, Ken.
Was getting, so when he came up to my car, saw who I was, and that's where everything went left.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. So
let's get past this commercial, guys.
Bells, Florida. And how are the numbers looking? We're landing at a strong 70 SPF.
He put this up in his story. So he said, wait a minute, y'all had a conversation, probably the toughest conversation I've ever had, but God has a plan, the power of prayer. P.S. This is not a storyline. This is real life, and the Holy Spirit has been working behind the scenes for the greater good. So let's talk about this conversation. Y'all had a conversation?
So what I want people to understand, this is real life for us. We like this show. I think a lot of people get caught up in this show and investing into
exactly, Ross,
and don't realize that there's a reality outside of this reality TV show. Like real life for us, we've been going through this. So for me and him as two grown men, we have to figure out a resolve. Like we have to figure out something that's going to benefit not just me and him, but this family and these kids. So, at some point,
guys, isn't it funny how he's been going after Marquez all of this time, and when he now sees that he's coming out on the losing end, now all of a sudden, he wants him and Marquez to get to a place where they can have a civil conversation, for the betterment of the kids. He never wanted this until he seen that he was getting dragged on social media and everybody, was siding with Marquez. Now, he wants to wave the right flag, and be cool with Marquez now that things aren't going his way.
The drama has to end. At some point, somebody got to throw in the white flag, and somebody got to be willing to communicate properly and communicate.
Hello.
Get along.
You guys could have done this from the beginning.
It's perfect right now. We still have a lot of things that we have to work through. I think a lot of it is Kim and Trish have a lot of anger to get past because of what happened in their relationship. But all in all, it's working its way towards better, for sure.
So
we haven't heard Marquez say that, and until I hear Marquez say that, then we're gonna still, just think that you're the problem. And American Born says, right. And they have shut up, shaking my head, just like the rest of the cast. They better know the millimeters aren't having the lies.
Okay, this is my question to you. Let me say this. Let me take this down. Hold on, let me figure something else on. He said, damn, that was tough for man to man to set your pride aside on both ends for the bigger picture. Is only God's work. It's not about us. So y'all at this point are putting kids, right? Y'all putting the kids in front of everything.
I mean, that's where they've been at. For me, it's always been about the kids. You've never heard me say anything else other than be there for your kids. Like
lies.
Kids are I say they have some amazing kids.
Now people have a lot of questions about your relationship with Trisha's daughter. They have a lot to say about that. Right.
And I'm going to speak on that, and I'm going to be real blunt about it.
Please speak on it, because we're going to continue to speak on it.
They have a lot to say about that because first of all, you don't have any children, correct?
No biological children.
Okay, you have no biological children. So from your last relationship, you had a relationship with her daughter, and that relationship carries on to this relationship with Trish right now?
She has a room in my house right now.
And your house, let me clear this up off though. You do not live in a house where Trish.
Keyword, my house.
You and Trish have a home together.
We've been in 2 different houses since she sold her house with my kid.
Okay, so y'all are together. Okay, so the relationship, people really want to know, what is that about? So I'm gonna let you clear that up for everybody, and because people feel like, why don't you have this type of relationship with the son? Well,
So the son,
I'm listening. Go ahead.
the son is 18 years old. Like
Mhm.
18 years old, he's a college student. He's a pretty much a man growing into a man. And the thing is they only hear us talk about me in the relationship with me and the daughter. Me and Xavier have done plenty of things together. I think, and like I said, I'm gonna be blunt about it. I think you have to be a really weird person to just make assumptions, insinuations about a relationship between a man and a daughter based off of no facts. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, here's the thing. A lot of times people are accused of not stepping up, not saying anything when they see a situation that does not look good to the eye. So people are just giving feedback and expressing their opinions because a lot of times when things like this happen, you wish you had done more, you wish you had said more. So people are calling out what they see. And true enough, her son is 18. Yes, maybe he's not in the house as much. We get that. But this man has expressed to you that he feels uncomfortable with the way you're carrying on with his daughter. Why can't just change the situation if it will limit, the disagreements that you have with Marquez? It looks like you're doing it just to pick at Marquez, and that's not a good look. Any father would feel some kind of way about this random guy that his baby mother is dating that's all up and around in his daughter's personal space. That's all we're saying. And all you have to do is just change the behavior. Like, it's not that serious. Like, but you're using this situation to pick at Marquez. And then you wonder why the relationship is so strained.
and I take those, I take certain things really serious because I myself was, mishandled as a child. So I don't.
So you really should
I
understand.
don't make light of conversations like that. It's weird to me. A man in a household with a daughter is supposed to we're supposed to be gentle. We're supposed to be affectionate. We're supposed to love on. If she comes to me for the affection, I don't have to.
Guys, how many situations have you heard about when, a mother starts dating a new guy and that guy SAs her child? We've heard so many of those stories. That's why we're on red alert. Like, if we see something that just doesn't look right, we're going to say something about it, in hopes that we can, keep this from continuing to happen. Hey, to Latrice, thank you so much for being here, says. And Aries Girl says, funny how he makes digs at Marquez and his size and stature, but doesn't realize that the son, Xavier, has his dad's genes. So talking about his dad is like talking about him. Like, kids love, their mom and dad. So, that's the last thing you should be doing is talking about his dad on social media.
Go up in her room. I don't go upstairs in her room and stuff like that. I don't really, even my child that I've been around the longest, like I never really go in her. Like, and they're 13 and 10, so they're bigger. They're on the, on the bigger kid stage. I don't understand where.
Guys, how many of you have been taught, inside your home to never sit on a man's lap? Like, that's something that we're taught to not sit on a man's lap. That's not your biological daughter. So you shouldn't be doing any of that.
Any questions can come about our relationship. I'm a man in a house with kids. I'm supposed to take care of the kids and be there for the kids and have a relationship with the kids just as much as I am the mom. Matter of fact, no woman on this earth, on this platform right now, would be accepting of a man who didn't treat her kids well.
I agree with that 100%.
And we agree.
I'm in a relationship and I have a daughter and I would not. But like for me, before I even introduced him to my daughter, it was 2 years because I didn't know. I said, I'm going to see how long.
Exactly,
Subaru
Aries
North
podcast.
Subaru Lakeland, and Subaru South Tampa.
It has
Get
its
the power
commercial.
of How does doctor prevents dark spots? We don't have one spot.
When people look at my hands, they say, "Oh my gosh, look at you."
This worked.
Exactly.
It was 2 years before they even. I think she may have heard his voice on the phone, but before she put eyes on him, it was 2 years because I was like, I can't bring anyone into my child's life, and I don't think I'm going to be there.
I wonder how long it was before Ken met the kid.
1 year before Trisha actually met Alex, and I think I'm not quite sure of the exact time, but the whole idea that Trish brought me around those kids like immediately, that's false. Like it didn't happen.
I don't believe it.
Okay,
It was a few months before I actually, because I didn't even know what Taker looked like outside of pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't until the lights moved into the other house, the one we had before this one, and I was about to go get another house, and me and Trisha she was like, well, no, we can do this one, and we just start our life together. So that's what we did. But that was months and months after me and her had actually, I think easily 6 months or more before I met her kids like that. It didn't happen
too soon.
He tried, and other people try to make it out to be.
Okay.
I don't understand how people have so much of an opinion on. It's like they wake up next to us and they go through the process of the day with us. Like y'all just really don't know, and it's just.
Guys, I still don't think that Ken has accepted the whole idea that this is what reality TV is. Like people are going to talk about your life because you're on reality TV. Like he can't really grasp that concept, and I don't know what it's going to take.
Pretty much the stuff that we're putting out on the show. And like I said, we will put out thorough information on the show, and only bits and pieces of it get, put out there. So I was always taught to ask questions before I make assumptions, because you make assumptions, you make an ass of yourself.
Okay. Well, let me say, Phyllis, he stated he doesn't have any biological children. He has acquired the relationship with these children from relationships he's been in. And however, I think all of us as women, if we were in a situation where we're dating, we would want the man who we're dating to have a relationship that we thought that made sense with our daughters, because there's so much that's going on in the world today. That's why people have so many questions. And then sometimes when you say things, it's like, what? I feel like Marquez, when he said, you tucking my daughter in and are you showing my daughter affection, that kind of triggers everybody with the way of the world today.
Exactly.
But that's projection. You can't project on another people or another.
Yes, we can, because when you don't project, that's when things happen. And Mama B says, but you said you would tuck Marquez in like his daughter. That caused me to put hands on you. He doesn't have any business tucking in a 13-year-old to bed. Exactly. She's a whole teenager. Like, that is so uncomfortable to even think about.
Person's life, what maybe you don't went through, or what you see the world going through. I don't never assume somebody is going through something just because I seen it look the same over here. Like that doesn't really make sense to me. Like I don't think that because I say I show affection, because affection doesn't have to be physical.
Right? Exactly. Just like when he said, I think when Mark Stokes said, if your daughter has a bad day, what do you want him to do? You want him to tell her to call him? And because I was like, when she has a bad day and Ken is there and she can download on Ken, that's important, because what is Marquez going to be there in 0.5 seconds? No.
A lot of people might hate me for this, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand this because they probably didn't have that relationship with their father. They probably didn't have, and even I know a lot of people who had the mother and the father in the home and still don't have good like coping and caring and nurturing skills because they just didn't receive it the way it was supposed to be done. I grew up on love. A lot of people grew up on survival. I grew up in a loving situation. We hugged, we kissed. Our parents hugged on us. My dad would kiss me on the forehead. My granddad would kiss me on the forehead. Now I don't kiss the girls. Like I think that's a little too far. But like hugging, and we hold hands when we walk outside. Like we're down there.
Oh no, that's too much for a 13-year-old.
Like we show that type of affection.
No, that's unnecessary.
Tucking her in at night, like I said, I think he was just asking that question to I don't know. I think that may have been the first thing that just popped in his head to ask. So, like I said, they're 13 and 10, so I don't invade their privacy. Like I let her mom, and even with my other child that I brought in, I let Trisha do that. I let Trisha handle a lot of the girly things and stuff like that. And Trish and her have like an amazing relationship. So, like I said, it's just weird to me for people to project and put that type of like that idea out there, because what are you basing that idea on? Something
What we see,
or something you think somebody else going through, or like because that's
Well,
just because your friend.
think about it this way, guys. Out of all of the pictures that he could have posted of him and Trisha's daughter, he chose that picture for a specific reason, and you're not going to change your mind about that.
A robber, am I supposed to think you're a robber?
Okay, yeah, I got you on there. But here it seems like when you talk about certain things, like you are definitely a provider. You're definitely the head of the house. You know what I'm saying? Do you at this point not feel like you're deserving to be that in like for real? You know what I'm saying? Do you want children? Or have you and Trish talked about? Do you seem like you'd be a great father?
So I don't personally care to have my own children. So I traveled a lot, like and
Isn't that funny how, he said he doesn't care to have his own children, but you want to love bomb other people's kids? Why don't you have your own kids, so that you don't have to try to overextend yourself to other people's kids? Like, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And guys, let me see if I missed some comments. And Rod says, this says a lot about Trisha. She's allowing her boyfriend to tuck her 13-year-old daughter in bed. That's insane to me. Absolutely. Like, who does that? A 13-year-old? That is so creepy. And I wonder what she really thinks deep down, because she's not going to say anything, but it's probably even weird to her. And Cece says, what does he mean by he lets Trisha handle her kids? So basically, I guess he's saying like the girly stuff when his other daughter, because he's specifically speaking about his, so-called daughter with his ex. So he's just saying, I guess, when it comes to the girly stuff, he lets Trisha handle that. And Aries said, if he didn't tuck the daughter in, why not just say that when it was brought up? Exactly. He wants him to believe that is true.
Climate. Now, one thing I think I do agree with the people is
like the video, guys, please, and thank you.
For children in environments, it's so hard to raise kids now because we have so many different influences that mainly being social media. So I'm okay. I like to see out with food. And I'm okay with my situation. Like I'm 100% content with my life. I'm happy with my life. Okay. Like me and sister are having an amazing relationship. Like I said, what you see on TV and what actual reality is about the same. I think a lot of people want me to be this earth fella. I see the lady said something about the whole Martell situation.
What did you do?
I think a lot of people want me to be.
Ken can't pay attention because he's so busy reading those comments.
Still upset about a lie she told me. I mean, and she told a lie. We all have told a lie. Like,
and where are you with that?
Like we've been back. I don't care. If Martell had a situation, it would have been way before me. But what I care about?
The math ain't math, and we're not so sure about that. Because from the way we see it, she could have been dating both of y'all at the same time.
Sorry. Scott 1000. Okay. I agree with you 100%. It does. That's in everybody's situation. I don't hold on to things, right? So if something happened, if you and I are dating and you done dated 12 girls in one day, that's the stuff you did before me.
And here's the thing: even if they did, man, me and Martell I probably may have in the past messed with a woman Martell done did.
Okay, but
like, are we supposed?
Look how he's trying to clean it up. The thing about it is, this girl lied to you when she knew that it was going to be exposed on national TV. And you're study windmilling for her when she lied to you. She lied to everybody. And I don't understand how you feel like you can trust her.
Fight over it? Like,
this is what I'm talking about. because they brought this up. She said she was. I mean, Ken, you go into the house, you go into the gym, you know the difference, right?
Right.
Like there had to be something, even when you are. I can't remember what y'all was talking about when she had cooked, and I think when she said when you found out the first time about her going to the house. I think the first time you found out about her going to the house, that was last season. You know, like, and then she talked to the girls in the gym. Like, she does conveniently leave things out.
She's a liar.
Do you like, and that we don't feel like
Let's
she's
just keep it real.
Truth teller.
Call it what it is.
But see, but like y'all basing that off the one lie she told. What other lies has she told? I'm trying to figure out what else has she lied about.
I'm sure there's been other lies.
What other
lies? What I'm saying, like, what other lies?
A liar is a liar is a liar.
Here's the thing, I've been here the whole time. So the only thing she omitted was the fact that she went to his house. And guess what? The only problem that I had with the situation was that she didn't tell. Because
not only did she lie to Ken, she lied to Stormy. You know what I'm saying? She put that lie out all over the place. She told multiple lies because that's the problem. When you tell one lie, you got to tell so many other lies. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep up with the first lie.
And that's because I asked. I said, hey, is there anything I need to know before we press forward with this, with all this? Because I know and no shade, but I know how to like Martell them, they weird to me. The way they operate, the things they say to each other. I know that if they got a one-up situation, they're gonna use it. So I'm like just let me know what's going on. The weird thing about Martell saying that he didn't know her and the lies, like he invited us to his magazine party.
Well, why she looked like she was devastated when he came in Stormy's house? Because she looked like, what do you think?
She looked confused because the whole situation was when he walked in there and like she didn't know whether like she was supposed to, like she didn't know.
Guys, let me ask you this. How many times have we heard this man try to clear up that whole situation? We've not heard Trish try to clear up that whole situation, not one time. But for some reason, he keeps windmilling and trying to clean up the situation for Trish. And Ross said Trish claims she went to Martell's house to train him. However, Martell said ain't no woman training him. And I can believe that. Ever since we've known Martell, he didn't look like he needed no help with training. So I don't understand why Trish wants to go with that narrative. Like, honestly, Martell's body, that's the only thing he has going for him. So why the hell would he need a trainer? And American Born says he is her spokesman. Now, I guess, laugh out loud. Exactly. He's always the one that wants to do the interviews. And I believe that's why he skipped out on the interview that, him and Trish was supposed to do with Dr. Heavenly and CK. Is because he don't want to do interviews with Trisha. He wants to do interviews, by himself so that he can spin the narrative that he wants to spin without making Trish look bad in her face.
How the scene was supposed to go. Like y'all gotta understand that on set, we there's a lot of stuff that go on that nobody knows about because it's TV. So I just think it was confusing for her because he introduced himself to her. He was like,
yeah.
I know you. Like, what the hell are you introducing yourself for?
Yeah,
that part, American Born.
Room and said, hey, I'm whatever his name is. You're gonna be like, dude, like, I know you. Like, what do you mean? So I think for her, it confused her. And like I said, Trisha, this is really, really new to Trisha. This is the first time Trisha has ever been in this type of situation where, as far as like the magnitude of being on TV and stuff like that. So with her being new to it, her responses are going to be a little different than what people are going to be accustomed to because she just don't know how to react. So for me, I know her personally, so I know it was confusion. Like she like, dude, why are you introducing yourself to me like this? We don't know each other. I know your brother. We lived in the same neighborhoods. Like we came up in the same environments. Like what was that about? And I think from there it just went left.
So what do you think about this?
The reason why she looks so shocked is because Martell flipped the script. They had this storyline that they were supposed to spin, on this season, but Martell decided, to do something different. So that's why she was surprised because Martell wasn't going along with what they had talked about. So that was the reason for the surprise. And Mama B says, so it's all fake. Exactly. And Aries Girl Podcast says, I agree, American Born. They want to be famous, but it's not working out that way. Yeah, that's why he decided to do, this interview with Mila Chan. Like he could have been, came on and done an interview, but he doesn't like the way that they're being perceived in the public eye. So now he wants to come out and do an interview so that he can clean everything up.
What Samantha has said, Ken, could you please state where you stand with your alignment with Martell Holt, who was convicted of DV harassment communication in the 3rd degree? Like, what do you think about that? I mean, I know you don't really know people, and I know that you talk to them in scene and stuff like that.
He knows people.
What do you think about Martell?
Here's to perfectly imperfect.
So he's gonna say the same thing that they've all been told to say, which is it's just a text message.
I'm going to make it count.
If it was just a text message, then this man wouldn't have been convicted of this crime.
I would think Martell, he could be a good dude at times. I think Martell plays on a lot of situations. Like if it's a situation he can take advantage of, he's going to definitely do it, i.e. the whole Trisha situation. As a man.
So now that he's tired of being dragged, him and Trisha, now he's getting ready to throw Martell up under the bus because, he's tired of, Martell looking like this macho guy throwing shade against Trish, saying, oh, Trish didn't look the way she looks now, back in the day or whatever. So now he wants to come, out and he wants to drag Martell.
And if me and you have messed around, either we did or we did, it's not gonna be love or no. Like, and the whole idea that she didn't look that good, so I had nothing. It's bogus because when he invited us to the magazine,
he mad because Martell called Trish ugly.
Plus points. So, like, dude, come on.
Wait, Martell asked Trish that?
Yeah, so like, dude, stop. I just don't appreciate when we talk about lies. It's still, like I said, she told that one lie, and it was a big lie.
She told several lies, actually.
Draw all these crazy assumptions and make all these exact accusations. But a lot of it stemmed from her not knowing how to respond because Martell kept playing on the situation, and it was frustrating her. Like she didn't know.
That's why she should have called his ass out from day one. He would never have been able to play in my face.
Furious, like she was like mad at him because she was like, dude, just played me. Like he made me look like in his words, like he tried to make her look like one of them, like one of the street girls, like somebody he just, and she didn't like it, So
what do you think about what Maurice said that he thinks that you love Trish a little bit more than she loves you? Because you really go in for Trish. Like people feel like you might be a little delusional for Trish the way you stand 10 toes down behind her.
Hey, listen, I try my best not to.
I mean, you have her back.
I try my best not to sound arrogant and cocky and conceited, but like I told Dr. Henry this, there is no woman on this planet that can make me delusional or have me out here just 10 toes down and it's not like, nah, it's 8 billion people on this planet and more than half of them are women, and I pick a tier where I could probably get the majority of them. So I wouldn't just pick the one that's not right for me. It doesn't even make sense. Like I don't have kids. Like I can travel the world and move around as I please, but why would I stay stuck in a situation that I don't truly deserve to be in, or that doesn't deserve to have me?
Okay, let's go right there. I'm gonna go with what you just said. Do you think that you deserve to be in this relationship with Trish at this moment at 12:48 p.m. on 11/21/2020?
100%. Me and Trisha have one of the best relationships you could possibly have. The only hiccup that I do say could have been differently, which I agree with a lot of people, is that the marriage could have possibly been done a while ago.
A while ago?
A while ago. They've been
like almost half of a decade ago.
They've been separated for a long time. So like I said, I'm not disagreeing that like with the idea that it should have happened, but that's all based off our opinion. We don't truly know what was going on in the midst of them getting the divorce. And on top of that, we know who she's dealing with. So it's kind of like we can base our opinion based off our own situations, but everybody's situations are not the same. So, but do I feel like, yeah, that's my girl, like Trish, that's my buddy. We best friends. We like everything, and we're going to get married. We're going to live our lives the way we want to live our lives, and there's nothing really.
I'm gonna tell you what my ex told me. I don't want to be your best friends because friends lie to each other, just like she lied to you.
Like I say all the time, like I mean, there's nothing really that's going to change my mind. It's not delusion. A lot of people ain't really been loved the way they're supposed to be loved. So what I do looks weird to everybody.
Well, okay, let me say this. For me,
He didn't think he got all the answers.
Look, what bothers me about this whole situation is the fact that, you know, the way you talk about Trish, the way you are there for her, the way you've moved with her, you deserve a situation to be with someone that is able to be with you like that. Do you think that maybe wait a minute, who's holding the paperwork up? Has Trish signed the paperwork?
No, so the paperwork has been filed. Their divorce is filed. Like, I don't know.
Are we waiting on a judge?
That's like it's not like it's been done already. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, we already know that's not going to be anytime soon because we know how those judges are in Alabama. They drag their feet. This could be sometime in 2 years. And Aries Girl podcast said it's almost like he doesn't realize that he's committing adultery right now with Trisha. It's so funny to me. Exactly.
I don't know where people I don't know if people think we just a storyline and we just doing it for a story. No, the actual papers have been filed and the divorce is in the process of being like it's really a real thing. Like it's not for a story. Like our real lives, this is real life for us. And I think that currently now me and Marquez are in a space to where he's going to make it easier for us to all move on with our lives so that we can be good. That's why I
don't think Marquez is gonna make it easy for y'all to move on.
No, no. I said we're in a state now where I think he will.
I don't think that.
I mean, it's going to take some time. It's going to take time, but I'm talking about as far as the divorce because I don't think it's not a matter like he don't want Trisha. Like it's not Trisha that he wants. I think
do y'all see how he keeps mixing his words? First, he said that they're in a place now where they have a better understanding. Then he said it's going to take some time. Like, which one is it? Like, he's really talking in circles.
I'm a man, so I think I can kind of speak for a lot of men. A lot of times we hate when we lose access.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what you can't speak on, Ken. You can't speak on how a father feels, the way a father feels when you're having inappropriate situations with his daughter. And you know why you can't speak of it? Because you've never been a biological father. So you don't know what that feels like.
He's access. So I think a lot of it is he had the access because even when him and Trisha were separated, anytime he fell, of course, that's the father of her kids, so she was there to pick him up. And that's always going to be a certain level of love there for them. But I think when I came in the picture and he lost all that access, it's like, hell, I just lost my life mind. What do I do now?
So what was it found? Because it was.
So I'm gonna need Trisha to get a backbone. In one breath, she's saying, oh, he abandoned her and the kids. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't there for them, physically, financially, whatever the case may be. And then in the other breath, he's saying that she was helping him out financially. Like, who would help out a man who abandoned me at the time when I needed them the most? Like, is she gullible? Like, she doesn't have a backbone? Like, what is the deal? Like, who would go out their way to help a man who's not helping with his own kids? Like, it really makes her look bad.
One time I was talking about it and I said, I didn't know for sure, but I thought I had heard that it was done. What was it?
Let's get past this commercial, guys. Back like we never left.
I want to say it was on the 19th of one of these months. It's been like a month, 2 months, I think. I have to look at the paperwork.
2 months ago.
Now, keep in mind, guys,
I think it was
so
that episode was filmed months and months ago, like maybe around March, April, something like that. And we're in November.
Do you think Trish is ready?
No. No, we're not going to get married right away. I've already found a doctor. We're going to start counseling couples.
Of course you have.
Couples treatment. I'm going to get her treatment on her own. I got a doctor from the VA. So I talk to a therapist, when I need to. We're going to do a lot of therapy. We're going to do a lot of, because she still has a lot of anger.
It sounds like you're going to do a whole lot of controlling. Guys, let's remember, Trish is an engineer. Like, I don't understand why he feels like he has to control every aspect of her life. She didn't get this far, to be an engineer, needing somebody to control every aspect of her life, like you're trying to do, Ken. Treatment. Yes. You both definitely need it.
And hostility built up from her past relationship. And in order for us to actually be able to move forward, she has to let. So, yeah, it's not going to be an immediate thing. She gets divorced and we get married right away. But
Yeah.
Like we both have sat down and had conversations to where we're both ready to get the ball rolling, the process going. But we're going to take our time. There's no reason to rush what we already know is going to happen.
Okay. All right. Well, let me see. One word again. Can you give me one word about your experience on Love and Marriage Huntsville? Hold on, wait a minute. Leo, he said that let me put Leo's thing up here because Leo has a question. How does Ken feel moving into another man's home? They weren't divorced and Trish posted happy anniversary to Marquez in 2022. Now see, they just got up all her Facebook posters. Now Leo,
I wasn't there in 2020, so that question is irrelevant.
Okay, because you did not move in their home.
I didn't move in their home, Leo. I've been
to
3 times already.
Yeah, but you talk a lot in circles, honey. We're just trying to clarify things.
And where he and Trish
live. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. I literally said it twice.
Okay, we're gonna just calm down. We're not gonna get fight like that. Okay, so we just asking questions. And
see how angry he gets.
I talk loud. I just talk.
Okay, I know it can get redundant. But some people are just coming in and they really are passionate about the show and everything. And I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate all of you all being here. So he did not.
He ready to go off.
He and Trish have their own home for some time now.
It's been a year. The least he did it's been over. Okay.
So like how I don't know. Getting a home with I don't know. I don't know how y'all do that. That would drive me crazy. I would be so nervous about moving with somebody that is still married and I'm not married to. I don't think I could get any real estate. I can't. Nothing.
That's like 90% of the related couples on this planet right now.
Yeah, but over here with this 10, absolutely not. You are absolutely right, Mama B.
Everybody do this.
And that's why he's making excuses. Mama B says he is delusional. Trish ain't going to marry him, in my opinion. Exactly. So that's why he's making excuses like, oh, we're not getting married anytime soon. She has to go to counseling. I already go to counseling. We're going to go to, do couples counseling. That's why he's setting it up, because he knows that they're not getting married anytime soon because Trish don't want to marry him. And Aries Girl Podcast says, where did he get that info? 90%. Exactly. He's good at spinning the narrative that he wants people to see.
So this is a question I have for you. I'm about to end it up here. If y'all have some more questions, put it in the chat. If y'all come back for another season, you're gonna have to have another storyline.
Please have another storyline. Like we are so over it.
You need to lean on somebody to show these jobs that you have. Like where's Trish work?
She's an engineer. She's been an engineer for 18 years.
So is she off today? Because she's at the gym. Does she to go to the gym doing work, right?
So she pretty much since COVID, they pretty much they work from home, work in office, work from home, work in office. They kind of do back and forth.
Okay. So if y'all come back, have you thought about, because I know how it works a little bit, have you thought about how you're going to show up next season? Because when I tell you that we don't want to see this anymore, we don't want to see this. And I'm sure y'all don't want to see it either. I'm sure y'all tired of going through it.
Yeah.
And you know what, Ken? You can start with your social media instead of using it to go back and forth with my quiz. You can start to promote your businesses on your social media. That would be a better look. And Aries Girl says, I get it now. Trisha is book smart, not emotionally intelligent. Yes. I totally agree with that.
We got a lot of stuff that's coming. Like, I just gotta stay tuned. It's coming.
Oh my God. It's still the same thing. I'm just saying we got this.
So here's my thing with it. Like, I shut down, and that's real life reality TV. Like, I'm not about to keep going back and forth about the same stuff over and over again. Like, that's just not me. With the Martell situation, with the whole all of it, I think like me, I get over stuff fast. Like, and I'm like you. I'm trying to get this next. Like, next, what's next? Like, but
Yeah, what's next?
I think everybody's storyline is like time to get to something different because like the whole drama thing is, I'm not really a drama person. I like to stay to my I like peace. I wake up happy every day. I like to stay happy.
That's good.
That's why I said I apologize that you think that I got loud and I was getting aggressive. I just talk really like
Ken, you can't help it. That's just who you are.
Man voice. So sometimes I just raise the pitch just a little bit. It sounds
Well, they don't feel like you answered the question about Martell. Like they feel like you kind of danced around it a little bit. So
like he does everything.
The question about how you feel about Martell being convicted. Like, is that somebody that you would want to get to know on the show? Like, how do you really feel? How do you feel about that? I mean, you said he was a good dude.
I mean, I think with the whole, like I said, that
they're not feeling the good dude.
This is a touchy subject because.
Now, what kind of weak ass man are you, Ken? You're still trying to cape for Martell, calling him a good dude. He played in your girlfriend's face, made her look stupid on national TV. Then he called your girlfriend ugly, but you're still caping for Martell, calling him a good dude.
Domestic situations, like I'm helping raise 2 girls.
Right.
I try my best not to raise my voice. I try not to say certain things where it can be taken in a wrong manner. I think in their situation it's a little touchy. The text message, I mean, I guess people harassing it,
Now, I'm gonna tell you what we feel like. We do feel like when it came
like this whole cast is downplaying it,
like
calling it a text message.
Downplayed that.
Wow. So we know exactly what you guys were told to say.
I have.
Now is not the time
It has this commercial side.
Because Stormy was like, Courtney was like, it's a text message. Even you right now, a text message, like the situation.
Because I look at it like
everybody pretty much said the same thing. It's a text message.
Went back and forth and said some things that they probably shouldn't have said to each other. And
exactly, Aries girl. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't know what started it, but I just know what was said in a lot of those situations, and like it could be on both sides. Like they could have did it to, like he could have possibly did the exact same thing she did to him.
If it would have been done on both sides, it would have came out in court, Ken.
I think more.
So Aries girl said, makes me wonder if they were bound by contract to always refer to the DV as a text message. They all stick to the same talking point. Exactly. And Roz said Kim came into Trisha's life at a time when she was grieving the loss of several family members. He's fulfilling a void until she is healed. In my opinion, Ken is temporary. Roz, girl, you just said a mouthful. That is exactly what it is. She's not really that into Ken, and Ken just won't accept it. And Cece said they are all loathsome. Exactly, Cece. And it's hard to watch. Hey, it's Tay T. Thank you so much for being here, sis.
people would be more like, nah, I can't deal with this. Like, I ain't dealing with this. But a text message between two, I'm gonna put it like this. I guarantee you that majority of us can have this same charge if they went through our.
Hell no, we can't.
We went back and forth with somebody. Because I know there's been plenty of times where I've had conversations where I'm like, listen, leave this stuff alone. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, healthcare workers, thank you so much for being here.
Okay, because I feel like a lot of this stuff affects the children. A lot of them.
Guys, don't forget to like the video, please, and thank you.
Around you. So do I think it's okay? No.
What do you stand with the what do you stand with the revenge P? I think
He's dancing around the question.
Text message. And I know this has been beat to beat. But since you're here, what do you think about the revenge P? Like him wanting to put that out.
Now that I don't agree with. Like you talking about whatever the video or whatever the situation.
Yeah, because it was him and his wife.
That's whack. That's like I look at it like this, man. As a man, I've never in my life tried to expose someone because I felt some type of way. To me, that's a feminine trait. That's something that you would, no disrespect, see a woman do. As a man, we shouldn't go there. Yeah, I don't agree with that. That was that's rough. Because you got to understand this again. Your kids may grow up. And the internet isn't going anywhere, and you can't wipe the internet clean. It may be a time that they may run into this video,
and that's all we saying, Ken.
In this manner, and it just isn't. It wasn't tasteful at all. Like it was definitely.
Gosh, it felt like pulling teeth just to get him to say that much.
Of him doing something like that, I couldn't have like a super close personal relationship with him because I feel like when you do stuff like that, there's more that will come with that. You know what I'm saying? So,
and healthcare worker says, please hit the like button, share the live, and tap that notification bell. Thank you so much, healthcare workers. So, now he's at a place where, he ain't really feeling Martell. So even though it was like pulling teeth, he finally spoke about how he really feels about the situation.
Put myself in that situation.
Well, I really hope that they allow you all to
get a new storyline.
Hello. If y'all, because I think Neil said y'all start back filming in January. I really and truly hope that it's something different. Because I don't know if I could be in for Krish and Martell in a workout. You defending the workout. Marquez.
I didn't really defend the workout. I don't care about it because I wasn't around.
I'm talking about what we see on television. I'm not saying you right now. I'm just saying that's what we see, right?
So defensive. He's always so defensive.
Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. This is fantastic. I hope I got all your.
I really enjoy your show, by the way. Like you don't miss.
Look, now he's sucking up.
I guarantee you
sucking up.
That pops out, you're gonna catch it first.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, he's trying to get some people on his team to be Team Ken.
This has been good. I feel like. Oh yeah, hold on a second. Girl, wait a minute.
No, you got a couple of good more questions to get at, Military. Now get to them good questions. Got a couple more.
Congrats on
my book. Let me put it up here so y'all can go on and get it now.
And by the way, guys, Militron did a great job on this interview. So make sure you go over and watch her live and give her the views as well. And also, she just released a book, so make sure you support her and purchase her book.
Thank you.
And you can go to militron.com for more details about her book.
So, brother, try that cream that can and go and get the book.
All right, I'm gonna take a picture with it.
Right. Yeah, take a picture and post it on there for me. But, Marita, you got your book. You gotta tell me how you like it. You gotta tell me. I'm scared. I get a little nervous because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. But I still want to know what you think. But this has been fantastic. Chat, are you all happy with? Wait a minute.
No.
Are you all happy with the conversation. I think it was.
It's pretty much, much of
Hey,
the
can I
same
say one more
thing.
time? I don't wear hair pieces either. So I guess
Oh my God, where did that come from? Now I have heard people say that he wore hair pieces, but I didn't know where that was coming from.
I think it fades into a low haircut. So I guess people started making this whole idea that I wore hair pieces, and it was just funny. Yes.
Okay, well, glad we cleared that up.
Well, that was just in retaliation to you, going off about women who wear, hair pieces and units or whatever the case may be, wigs. So, that was just a little get back, Ken. You get what you give.
Now, people feel like you may have not been forthcoming answering these questions. Maybe they feel like you went around the
In
bush.
circles.
But
You're never gonna please everybody. I realize that with yourself.
I understand that. But if it's anything you could do, we would really appreciate you all having another storyline. We really want you to push for that.
No, sure.
Yeah, we really.
Hold up. Aries girl said, but didn't he do a video of getting a unit installed? Now, this is new to me, Aries girl. Like, where did you see that? I haven't seen that. You need to post that video. We need to see that, Aries girl. You need to find that and you need to share that, Aries girl, if you can. I didn't see a video of him getting a hair unit. Like, who puts that on a public platform?
You to push for that.
We're not going to, so we ain't going another season talking about the same stuff.
Good.
Oh my God. That is too funny.
Yeah, Carlos, yeah. I mean, like the reunion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the first time you met him.
Yeah, he cool. He cool though. I like him cool.
Okay. Yeah, people have their
This man is turning your world upside down, and all you can say is he's cool.
How was the reunion? We know you can't tell us about
Nah,
it.
he's nasty.
It was I mean,
because they said it's. I think what did Nell say about the reunion? She said Jesus, and Destiny said. What did Destiny say about it?
The lies these people tell.
Yeah, she said what?
It was a new experience. It was different. I just think I don't know. For me, for it being my first time now, I know. I know what to expect the next time.
Okay. So,
so I guess I'm turning over a new leaf, Rod.
When you just said this, so is this something that you wanted to do, and Trish is doing it because you wanted to do it?
No, we actually. So I encouraged her. I actually had to talk it into her to want to do it. She wanted to do it, but she just didn't have the gut. Like she don't like.
See, Ken, that's all we've been saying. That you talked her into doing this show, and she initially didn't want to do it, just for her to be the one to get dragged.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things that we always used to talk about. Like in school, I would take 10 points off my project, and I have to stand in front of the class and speak on it. So she just doesn't like people in her face. She doesn't like cameras in her face. Even when I try to record her in the gym, she gets real shy around camera. So and that's why she talked when she gets nervous.
Yeah, we spend time to figure out
when she gets nervous. And that's the thing. It's like getting to know her. Like she does that when she's nervous. Like she doesn't open her mouth. And she just so it wasn't like I made her do it because I was the only one who wanted to do it. We both agreed to do it. I just had to give her a little push to actually.
Now, who did y'all come on the show through?
You said what?
Honestly, if I was Trish, I would be mad at this ninja just for, talking me into going on this show just to be dragged. No.
I came on the show through Stormy?
Stormy and Courtney.
Okay. Somebody said glad Ken took Millie Chun's advice and finally put on a suit. You heard what I had said, but I was appreciative when you put that suit on, when you posted that picture in that black suit. I was like, okay, Ken, this is what we talking about.
See, that's the thing. Y'all don't understand. I'm 250 pounds. I have to in order for me, all my suits have to be tailored to the exact.
Okay.
And I got.
So have them tailored. What's the problem? You claim you got all of this money, so what's the problem?
Wait, so That suit that I just
Isn't it weird, how he always wants to, oh, he's 250 pounds and his suits have to be tailored. Like most people get their suits tailored. Like I have to get my suits tailored. Like, what's the deal? You claim you got all of this money and you're taking care of this person and that person. The least you can do is have some tailored suits.
It's imperative, Ken. It's imperative. You wear a suit well, sir. You wear it well.
So that suit that the picture that I posted, I had literally just picked my suit up from the tailor. That's why. So and that's another thing too. I got a lot of things outside. I got a podcast coming up too. So that's what that suit was for. I was shooting. We were doing a video.
Oh, let's talk about it. I think that's
So yeah, Ken's trying to, throw out a shameless plug. You know what I'm saying? That's what he needs to be doing on his social media instead of going back and forth with Marquez. And Mama B said she didn't have any problem opening her mouth around Hotel. Exactly. She was fine when Martell came around, but any other time she can't open up her mouth.
And so it's going to be pretty much a podcast, man. I'm so sick of the man dancing, woman dancing.
So basically, he's doing what all the other reality TV show stars are doing, which is starting a YouTube. Basically, they see that, the YouTubers and content creators are making a bigger bag than them. So now all of them want to come to YouTube.
The man versus woman in our community, we speak too much. For us, our biggest thing now, we want to do men accountability. It's about holding men accountable, because at the end of the day, in our community, we need a collective group of men who lead and give women something good to follow. And in order to do that, it starts by accountability, figuring out the things that we need to work on. And not so much pointing the finger and saying, "Oh, I do this because she did that." It's like, dude, we're men. We have to try to always stand on business and protect and provide for our women and our kids. So it's really the basis of it. It's not, you won't see a bunch of, like, we're not gonna do that before woman versus man thing. We need to do better. We need to find solutions. We already know what the problem. Let's just find a solution.
And you know what's so funny? Now, Marquez done already said that he's coming out with some type of podcast or whatever the case may be. Like be original. Like Marquez is doing the same thing, and now here you go.
y'all, this has been fantastic. Ken, I want to thank you for being here.
This was a great interview.
Our audience for being here. I really appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all of that. Healthcare workers, I need you to message me on my Instagram, please. And when you can,
take your word for it, especially yeah, we're trying to. I promise you we are. Like it's like one of them things, like I don't like, it's like every week it's the same almost, like for us.
yes,
And it's like
it is the same every yes.
Yeah, we is tired.
The thing about it though is it's like the ratings keep going up. And it's like people say they tired of seeing it, but yet they keep watching it. So.
Wait a minute now, I talked about the ratings.
Okay, hold up. The ratings went up 1 week, and now he's saying that the ratings went up or whatever the case may be. No, just this week.
The ratings today.
He said they went up 13,000. They went up.
It went up 13,000. It went up 13,000, but I really feel like it was you, Trish, and y'all. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I think it was you, Trish, and Marquez, because that was the end of the girls' trip. So now we got to see what's going to go on next week.
No, we got.
And guys, I haven't seen this past week's episode.
Hey, if y'all thought that was a good one, just wait. We got way more better stuff coming.
Well, I mean, y'all got.
I just want people to know this though. I do want people to know this. Me and Marquez are actively working to make this situation in real life. I don't want people to think that we're gonna just be childish grown men and be arguing and fussing and fighting all the time. No, me and Marquez definitely had a pretty good lengthy conversation. We got on the same page about some stuff. I mean, some stuff we still got to work out. But
and it's Tay T said, and it wasn't because of them. It's Tay T. Why do you think those ratings went up this week? What do you think is the reason that they went up 13,000 views? I can't speak on it because I didn't watch this week's episode.
I think it's to the point now where it'll be the kids will have they'll be it won't be like they have to pick sides. Because I think a lot of it was
Somebody done got in his ear and talked some sense into him.
Like, and we don't want that. Like we want them to be able to have fun and live their lives comfortably with both of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we want the kids not to be involved as much. We just need them.
I mean, especially since, the daughter is 13 and the son is 18. Those are some big kids. Like they can literally go on social media and see all this play out on social media. So I don't understand why somebody had to come to you and, tell you that, because it sounds like he's had a conversation where somebody has made that clear to him and Trish.
It's an intimate picture. We talked about cut and paste Tisha. It was an intimate picture to take here. We talked about that. I just want to make sure I get all my super
Got
chat.
it.
My phone about to die.
Yes, we're just glad the girls' trip is over.
Let me see if I got one more. Hold on. I really.
His little one.
Your which color's wearing out. So we'll talk to you at a later date. I'll probably have you back on, Ken. Maybe I'll have you and Trish on next time.
That'll be cool.
And then
he doesn't like doing interviews with Trish.
I think that would be great.
Mama B said she didn't watch either.
Thank you for being here.
I wonder who all these people are that watched.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. I don't know what I'm.
All right, guys. That was a really good interview. And I'm glad that he did come out and speak. It's not going to change my opinion about him. I still think he's a weirdo, but he could have done this from the beginning and maybe people would have had a different perception about him, but he just came out like angry, So now he's trying to backtrack because, I guess at this point he wants a fan base or whatever the case may be. So now he's trying to backpedal, so that he can, be more likable. And It's Tay said that was a mess, sis, left all out. Yeah, it was a lot of word salad. He was definitely going round and round and back and forth, just to say nothing. And she said it was too much on Marquez instead of him. Yes. And then another thing, he's always talking about I take care of this person. I got a lot of mouths to feed. Like, why does he have to keep, continue to say that? Like, he's always trying to make himself look good and, whatever the case may be. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I think he's also pitching himself just in case it doesn't work out between him and Trish. All these women are going to probably be in his DM because he's always talking about his money, how he takes care of his family. So for some women, you know what I'm saying, that's a good look. So, they're going to be in his DMs if it doesn't work out with him and Trish. And Aries girl said, I really enjoyed these interview watch parties on your channel at the Network Specialist. Oh, thanks, sis. I really appreciate that. And you are my fave when it comes to reviewing the episodes, because I don't review the episodes. So you are my go-to girl for the reviews of the episodes. So I really do appreciate that. And Roz, is this your first time catching a live? I don't think I've seen you in here before, Roz. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that hopefully we'll see you in here again. I have really enjoyed you today. And guys, I think that's going to be it. I really enjoyed this interview. And, we'll see if, she can or he can convince Trisha to come on and do an interview. But personally, I think that I would like to see Trisha do another interview by herself. I don't think I want to see an interview with Ken and Trisha because I just think that she's going to have that awkward look like she did when they first came on the show, when they was in the kitchen around her birthday time. Like she had this awkward look the entire time when she was filming with Ken. So I would rather see her do an interview by herself instead of with Ken. And Roz says, no, I'm usually in the bushes. Okay, so you've been here before, but you're usually in the bushes. Well, thanks for coming out, sis. I really have enjoyed you on today. So yes, guys, that is going to be the end of this live. I thank you all so very much for watching. And if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. That's going to be all for this video. And thanks for watching, and bye for now.